I'll stop that. You know, way up here. Okay. I'll just close this. Okay, everybody, we're going to grade your quizzes. So let's look at all the answer sheets first. Okay. Notice the leg player. Notice how her hips are around pretty good. She's just hitting the ball. You see how her hips are around pretty good? She's just hitting it. Okay, so that's good. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Now these here are a little bit more than that. Is that the hips are all the way around and the ball is not hit yet. Okay, so this is the same thing from two different sides. The hips are all the way turned, but the ball's sitting there. Wow. Best one I ever saw execute that. I mean, they really did a number on it. Remember Michelle Lee, the girl from Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yes. She was gonna be the Tiger Woods for women. I remember. She was gonna take over women's golf. Nobody, I mean, she was so far past everybody in distance. She was hitting sand wedges to the green when the other ladies were hitting 5-iron. Anyway. This was when she was 13. She was hitting the ball off the tee, 300 plus. Yeah, she could hit the ball further at the time than 80% of the men on the men's tour. The pictures are over here on the far left, so try to get in close, guys, so you can see this, okay? Try to tighten it up, because these pictures are not that big. Go over to the far left part of the page, the far left, and notice when she sets up, how wide her feet are. You see how wide? And then under it, notice her hips are all the way around. Look where the club is. Her hips are all the way around, and look where the club is. On the bottom left, and then on the top left, notice the width of the feet.
Now, she actually exaggerated that over other players. I mean, she was one around so much.
This was when she was 13. She had no golf expert yet. Okay, here's what they did to her. They brought the golf expert in to get her to the next level. She was the next level. They brought David Ledbetter in. They'll do this to you if you go to his golf schools. They've got all kind of golf gurus now teaching this stuff. This is madness. You know what they did to her? She went right in the tank. She's won 2 things. She was going to win 5 a year. You know what they did? They put her feet together in a drill, and they had her hit golf balls with her feet together. When we hit golf balls when the feet are together, the whole lower body's in cement. The only thing we can hit it with is up here. Didn't take long. She went in the tank. Yep. They blamed her parents.
Yeah.
When it was her and the parents, she was pretty good. What really changed. So, when we're watching you on TV, we're going to notice while you're swinging, this is the big one, do we stay in the posture, especially the hips stay back. Of all the physical movements that we need to learn, the most important of all the physical movements are what we do from the hips to the feet in the backswing. Here's what we don't want. We don't want the right knee and the hip to move laterally. The right knee will hold, the right hip will turn, and we're creating pressure on the inside of the right leg muscles. You see it?
Oh, yeah.
The best one I ever saw do that, and they used to tell people, don't try to copy him. He's very unorthodox. Not unorthodox. Lee Trevino, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
This was the best you ever saw in the backswing of the lower body. The picture's on the top right. Notice his right leg. You see his right leg, how firm it holds? Just see it. His right leg holds so firm. That's the best I ever saw. And they're telling people, don't try to copy him. What's the matter with copying him? The guy winning all the time. Must be doing something right. Okay. Top right picture, look at his lower body, that right leg holds so firm, it's wonderful. Now, first key to direction we saw today is how the shoulders go. Remember how the shoulders are supposed to go down and under for as long as possible? That gets the club going down the railroad track. The next key to direction is the club face. If the club face closes or opens, then they hook and slice and curve, so we don't like that. When should our hands roll over? You remember that one from the other day?
After the ball hits.
After we hit it.
Right.
There's a beautiful picture. See, a lot of times they don't get the cameras right for this, but this one they did. They had the camera directly in front, perfect. Down here on the very bottom left, Keegan Bradley at the Ryder Cup. Bottom left picture. Notice his wrist didn't break yet. Oh, thank you, yeah, we need trash can. Okay, look at the picture on the bottom left. You see his wrist didn't break, but he already hit the ball? The bottom left picture. The wrists are not breaking.
That's all I'm having trouble with right now, that.
Okay, you see the wrists are not breaking on the bottom left? And he hit the ball. One more thing to notice about this picture, because the golf instruction teaches the opposite of this. Release the club and snap the wrist at the ball. Notice also in this picture on the bottom left that his entire upper body is way behind the ball. You see how the upper body's back? So that's another big chunk of bad golf instruction. Get to the left side before you hit it. You've heard that? You've seen that? No, that's wrong. The whole upper body will stay behind the ball for as long as possible. It's only the lower body going through, okay? So that's it. A while back, I was in Dallas, Texas. A fellow in class. He was sitting right where Gary is. His name's Pat Wheeler. Probably never heard of him. He was a good player in college, never made it on the big tour. He hosts the golf radio program on the Dallas-Fort Worth area every weekend. Anyway, Pat was in class. I showed what I'm about to show you. Pat Wheeler almost falls off his chair. He said, "Steve, you gotta come on my radio program." And we do it a couple times a year. It's a lot of fun. People call in, you know, ask questions. "Steve, what kind of ball should I use?" "I don't know, try a round one." How about that? You know, what are you asking me that silly stuff for? You know, you need to learn to swing the club. Right? You know where you find expensive golf balls? At the bottom of the lake. Right? That's where they're at. Anyways, I showed what I'm about to show you. At the time, this came out of Golf Digest. This man was known as the #1 golf teacher in the world. It's Hank Haney. And he was showing everybody how to do it wrong. Okay, I'm going to show you the lesson right now. Okay? His golf schools are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They're very expensive. The lesson is on the left. The picture of a good player is on the right. You see it?
Yeah.
Just
Don't
look.
look anymore.
It's not even close. What you're going to see right now, when we watch you on TV, is that if your shooting scores are above 90, that you are doing exactly what is in this lesson. Okay? Who went first today? Who got videoed first? Hey, Nick? Here's the picture we're using today, Nick. Because I videoed you from behind. Okay. Just good. I think I have you on. I gotta turn the volume on. The picture we're going to use today is going to be this one, okay? Because I videoed you from behind. That's a leg player from behind. You see how the hips have turned pretty good? But he didn't hit it yet. That's the big deal. The ball's sitting on the ground. Okay? Here you go, Nick. Hang on to him for the time being. Okay, we're going to go to okay, I'm just slide in over here. You're okay. Okay, here we go. And then what I'll do is I'll get these videos of you tonight. I'll load them into YouTube for you, okay? It could go viral.
Yeah, I bet it will.
I'm not to hit a ball.
Okay, here we go. Okay, you ready, Nick? How about his feet, everybody? What do you say?
Too narrow.
Little narrow. Here we go, Mick. Okay, heading up to the top of the backswing. There's a little bit of pressure in his right leg, a little bit, but not a lot. Here we go. Top arms went first. Did you see the arms go first? Now here's what's coming. His right arm's gonna hit his right side. You see his right arm hit his
Yeah.
side? Now he's stuck. The wrist will break right there. They snap. This is the Hank Haney lesson right there. And now the arms are gonna pull his hips through. Now the hips are gonna start to turn. Here they come. There they go, there they go, there they go. Too late. You're gonna use that picture this time. Use the picture. Okay, here we go. Okay, heading up to the top of the backswing. Here he goes, top of the backswing. He's in the posture a little, not enough. Arms are fast, head's lifting. You see the head coming up in the downswing? That's his posture breaking down. That's his hips coming into the ball. There it goes, right there. Hips came right into the ball, shoots the head up. Right now, he's at the address position. You see it? His feet, knees, and hips and everything? You get a lesson that'll teach him that. Now the arms are gonna pull your hips through. Use the picture, Mick. Tell me when you match up.
Not there.
Well, right there. That would be good, right there, if you hadn't hit it yet.
Right.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can you pass that picture over to, is that Ron?
Hmm.
Can you pass that picture to Ron? Here he goes.
Thank you.
Okay, here we go, Ron.
My hands are in, look at my arms, it's my chest.
Okay, we're gonna see this. Okay, here we go. Top of the backswing. He's got a little bit of pressure on his right leg, but his right hip started to move lateral, slides out a little bit. That's gonna hurt him for the downswing. Arms definitely went first. You see it? Now his right arm's about to crash into his right side. You see his right arm gonna hit his side? Now he's stuck. This is where the wrists are gonna start to break. It starts to go, and there's the snap. You see the wrist break? There's the Hank Haney lesson right there. Ron, you ought to open a golf school. This guy. See, this guy was teaching Tiger how to swing the club like Ron. No wonder Tiger went in the tank. See it?
I see it. sir.
Now, hold on. I'm gonna bring you a little more. We're gonna stop you right there. Take a look at his feet, knees, and hips right now. And then we're gonna look at a leg player, okay? This is, everybody likes Freddie, you know, Freddie. Notice his lower body. You see Freddie's lower body? You see the lower body zipping through? Look where the club is.
Behind it.
Okay? Right now, Ron's lower body kind of looks like this, right? What's the difference?
There.
The club's on the other side. So here's what that means, Ron. All we need to change is everything.
You turned around and swung the other way, right?
Yeah, so that's the trick.
There you go. I'm becoming lucky.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay, here we go, heading up to the top of the backswing, here we go. Top of the
Right up,
backswing,
right up.
yeah, you saw yourself, you're
Right
coming
up.
right out of the
Right
posture,
up.
yeah.
Not even out.
The head keeps lifting, and now tell me when the feet, knees, and hips look like the picture. Look at the picture. See, here's the lessons you'll get. It happened to me. I got a lesson, then I read in the magazines too. Steve, here's what you gotta do. No wonder why I'm struggling. In your backswing, you need to get all your weight on your right side. Okay, so I did this. Okay, because all my weight now is on my right side. And then get the club as far up as you go. And then when you get way up there, start the downswing by pulling hard with the left hand. Pull hard with the left arm. And then try to get everything exactly as it is at address when you're hitting the ball. And then from there, everything goes through together. Uh-oh. I don't think that'll work well. Here we go now, Ron. Tell me when feet, knees, hips look like picture, especially the left hip. About there. That'd be good if you're getting into the ball. Your right heel will be down, so it won't come up so. Okay, I'm noticing a trend. Okay, here we go now.
You want the picture?
It's Deb's over here. Deb, you're here with Ken, correct?
Yeah.
Do you two play golf together?
No,
Oh, you don't? Have you ever played together?
No.
No?
we're neighbors.
Oh,
We're
you're
supposed to
neighbors?
now.
Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. Heading up to the top of the backswing. Here she goes, top of the backswing. Arms are coming fast. Right side's gonna get in the way right there. Wrists are breaking, there they go. Now the arms are gonna pull her hips through. Now the hips will turn. There they go. You're gonna see this better from the other side, Deb.
Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yep,
Yeah.
we all went to the same school.
So you start to stand up right away in the backswing, comes right out of the posture in the backswing, there she goes. Arms are fast. Yeah, you see this her shoulders are so far behind the toes, you see it? See, when we stay in the posture, really, the shoulders are gonna go way out here. Way out here. You understand that, right? Okay, here we go now. And then she has to reach, you see, she gotta reach all that way, see? And then the arms are gonna pull her hips through. Now the hips are gonna turn, and the shoulder turns around. It doesn't go down and under, do you notice?
Yeah,
Okay? How could the shoulder go down and under if we're not in the posture? We haven't learned the posture, we're starting over. Is that right? That's it. Okay, you ready, Ken?
I'm gonna hit you. Oh, this way, okay, there you go.
Okay, here we go, Ken. Heading up to the top of the backswing. There's a little pressure on the right leg, a little. We gotta get more. Here comes the crash right there. You see his right arm hit his side?
Yep.
This is where his wrists are gonna break. Right there, snaps, and there it goes. I showed you this the other day. I'm gonna show you another one. You notice the right wrist is cocked back? You see the right wrist is cocked back?
Yeah.
That's the angle that holds the club face straight. Okay? I'll let you know, none of you would really have that when you're hitting the ball. It'll break down. Okay, here we go now, Ken. Now your arms are gonna pull your hips through. Now the hips are gonna turn. There they go. So everybody has the arms pulling the hips through. What's supposed to happen? The other way. Here we go. Heading up to the top, Ken. Arms first. Head is lifting. He's coming out of the posture. See the head coming up?
Yep.
Coming out of the posture while he's swinging. Now the arms will pull the hips through. On TV, they say, oh, he came out of the shot. So that lets us know that if it happens to those players on TV, that the review is for lifetime, right? Of the fundamentals, there's no end. Okay, you ready, Gary? Okay, here we go now. Okay. Here we go, heading up to the top. Right near the top of the backswing, your right leg started to slide lateral. You'll see a little bit of right, just enough to where the right knee started popping up. See the right knee starting to get outside the feet? Here we go, top of the backswing. Here we go. Arms are coming hard, lower body's going a little. Here comes the crash right there. You see your right arm hit your side? Now this is where his wrists are gonna break. I'm gonna stop him right here. We looked at one of these the other day. This is a different player, but it's the same thing, because I try to communicate, the good players the same, we're the same, okay? Here's Trevino. Down here on the bottom right picture, study what the golf club is doing and look where his hands are. Notice that the club is horizontal to the ground on the bottom right picture. The bottom right. The club head is not on the ground. The club is horizontal to the ground. Can you see that back there?
It's already turned.
Yeah, and you see the club is horizontal. On the bottom right. See that, guys? Okay. Okay, now, we're gonna figure something out right now. There are golfers that might be new to the game that will just instinctively try to swing the club face at the ball. But in the first class, I asked you, I demonstrated holding the angles or uncocking the ankles, and I asked you what you're supposed to do. And most of the people all stated you're supposed to hold the angles. They knew they were supposed to hold the angles with the club, that they weren't supposed to be snapping their wrist back here. Can anybody figure out why is it that when the right arm crashes the right side over here and gets stopped, the arm gets stopped? Now the arm and the club are coming together, right? The arms and the club, and they're coming fast. And when the right arm gets stopped, why does that make the ankles in the wrist break? The club head doesn't stop. See, only when the hips and thighs go first in the downswing, but also stay where? Push back, then nothing's gonna get in the way here. You with me? Without reaching. When our hips and thighs go first in the downswing and stay pushed back away from the ball, now we can hold the ankles, because nothing's in the way. Okay? If this right hip is back over here, or forward towards the ball, what we're supposed to do is swing the butt of the club on an imaginary line first this way. And we don't really hit the ball till the hands are by the inside of the left thigh. And then our hands do not turn over until when? When do the hands roll over? I'm showing you. And what we're gonna see here today is this. Not on purpose. I mean, who would do it on purpose? That's the Hank Haney lesson, Jerry. Do you know if you go to Hank Haney's golf school's 1,500, and he'll show you how to do it wrong? Then you get a private lesson with the guy. It's a couple thousand more, I guess. $29 with Steve, priceless. All right, here we go. Nah, there you go. Okay, good. Everybody's starting to grasp. Here we go. Top of that backswing, here he goes. Arms are coming hard. Tell me when your feet, knees, and hips look like the picture, Jerry. About right there. That's good if you hadn't hit yet. Oh, you're all the same.
We all seem to pick the club up.
You're all the same. It's like a disease.
You hit your hips turning by like breaking your right leg, is that what it is?
We all got it.
Say it again, Jerry.
Do you get your hips turning by bending your right leg? That's what it looks like it's happening.
Okay.
Or does your right leg?
Jerry's asking me, how do I start the downswing? Right?
Right. Basically.
First of all, there's nothing in the downswing that can be learned until the backswing is done first. Everybody get that? We can't do the backswing until you're in the posture. Everybody get that one?
Right.
But I'm gonna answer his question anyway. Realize you will not be able to learn this, what I'm about to show you, until other things are done first, okay? When we're in the posture and we've wound up the lower body, follow that? When we're like this instead of like this, when we have pressure on the inside of the right leg, we start the downswing by first pushing laterally the left hip across. You with me? We push, and then as it's going across, the left hip starts to turn. Okay?
So you push that left.
And the upper body stays back. Now, my students learn the movement by doing it at this pace with mirrors. You know why we do it that slowly? So that we do it right. If we tried to do that fast, you would never be able to do it right, ever. And then fast under stress, with a sand trap and a lake,
Oh, and the cart girl. The cart
and the
girl.
cart girl,
She's up on that hill
and betting
judging.
a dollar,
What?
Yeah, right.
and the last shot just went crooked. You with, okay. Here we go. Can you pass that picture back?
I did.
Oh, you got it, Kurt?
Yep.
How about the feet, everybody?
The two
Narrow,
narrow.
Narrow, here we go, top of the backswing, his right knee just popped out, you see it? Top of the backswing, here he goes, arms are coming hard, lower body's going a little, here comes the crash, right there, you see it? The wrists are gonna snap, there they go, snap, snap. This Hank Haney, arms will pull, hips through. Now the hips will turn, there they go, delete. 50 million people do this. Do you know when 50 million people struggle with the exact same thing and spend a fortune on it? Business is steady. I admire you for being here, you know that? You know a lot of people that were here the other day in that first class? A lot of them didn't sign up to come back, they left, they ran out of here, run. That guy's not getting my credit card, I'm getting out of here. You know where they're at now, don't you? Over at Dick's Sporting Goods in the golf section. With the salesman, they're coming in, you know, the one that will do it for me, the one that will do it for me. Top of the backswing, here we go. It looks like he came out of the posture, a little curt in the backswing. Stood up a little, here we go. Top of the backswing coming down. Now you're gonna see the head coming up again, watch. See the head coming up? Coming right out of the posture while he's swinging. Now the arms will pull hips through, there they go. You know what's strange, when we stay in that posture, through the whole swing, the shoulders are gonna be staying out here. I found a beautiful picture of that one day. I always like to show you pictures, so okay, that's what this was Tiger when he won the Open by 15. He's already hit the ball. I found that in a newspaper, next place to find it. You see his shoulders are still way out over the
Yeah.
toes? He's still in the posture, isn't he? Isn't that funny looking? But it happens at full speed, you don't even see it, you know, it's really fast. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. You ready, Sherry?
Oh, yeah, and the picture?
Sherry, you're here with Gary, correct?
Yeah, I'll take it too.
Do you two play golf together? You do? And Sherry, when you play golf with Gary, does he help you a little?
Oh, yeah. Just a little.
Gary's been helping Sherry.
Don't
Now,
let that
there's
get
a-
around.
Wait a minute, there's a guy on TV, he's famous now, Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil would look at Sherry right now and say, how's that working for you? Oh, wait a minute, Gary, I'll get you off the hook. I know what she did. Sherry, when you play golf with Gary, have you ever, even one time, did you ever ask him for help?
I might have said, what am I doing?
Well, that's the same thing. So the answer is, you have asked him for help, correct? Now we just found out who's nuts. It's her. She's the one who asked for it. Because when a woman asks a man for help, he knows, I have to arrive on a stallion. And I need to have an answer or I'm in trouble. If I tell her I don't know, Guy says, I gotta figure this out for her quick. I gotta fix it. Top of the backswing, here she goes. Arms are coming quick, lower body slow, right side's in the way. She's at the address position. Snap the wrists, arms pull hips through. There they go. That's okay, Sherry. He did it to you. You know there's a place, you know the place up the Villages, you know the Villages by Ocala and Orlando? I spent, there's 85,000 golfers in there now, 85, I spend a lot of time. We're very busy. Last December, a few months ago, before Christmas, they were from Brooklyn, New York. When I'm doing this class up there, this is all couples, just about, all husband and wife.
Like a banana.
It's unbelievable. And I asked her, she was from Brooklyn, New York with her husband. You know, the women from Brooklyn are a little tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's Italian, I understand. So I asked her, do you play golf with your husband? She responded, yes, we play with the couples group on Fridays, but I play with the girls on Tuesdays. Okay, so you play twice a week, that's good. When you play golf with him, does he help you? She leaned over and said, Steve, 5 years ago, I taped his mouth shut. My husband knows when he and I step onto that golf course, if he once starts telling me what to do, my 7-iron's gonna go through his skull. So she's gonna murder him.
That's funny.
Yeah, I thought if I was ever a divorce attorney, I'd put a desk on the 18th green. And the woman, here's my card. Here we go. Top of the backswing, here she goes, she came out of the posture, top of the backswing. Arms went first, crash. Now the right there's good if she's about to hit it. You're all, yeah, it's the same mistakes.
And here's the reason that looked like that.
Yes. See, he gets to get the blame.
You guys are like a tag team
Hey, you signed up. Here we go, top of the backswing, right leg starts to break down. How about his feet? Are they a little narrow, everybody?
Yeah.
Top of the backswing, here he goes, arms are coming hard. Here comes the crash right there, wrists will snap. Now the arms will really pull the hips through. Now the hips are really going. There they go. Yeah, it's all back. Everybody's doing it, but backwards. And we did it by copying each other, and we hit a good shot doing it. When you hit a good shot, then the brain tries to repeat, okay? That's why it's the best thing if we never hit a good shot, ever. Arms fast. Notice the head lift. You see the head coming up all the way in the downswing. You see it coming out of the posture while swinging. Have you ever had, right there is good if he's about to hit it. Maybe you've had a golf lesson before. Have you ever got this one? And I'm sure you have. Someone, you took a lesson, maybe they told you your head's coming up. You ever got that one?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. How far up can a head go? Does it come off? I used to get a golf lesson every Saturday afternoon, First Marine Division golf pro. Nice guy. He was not a Marine. He was a PGA professional. It's a nice job too. If you're a PGA pro and you can get the job at the base, you know, at the golf course, kind of nice. You know, they've got it easy. Anyway, and he was one of the better playing pros at the time in California. But here was the deal. We could play golf, enlisted Marines, we could play golf for $6. It's kind of nice. We didn't have any money. And if we wanted lessons, Dave the pro had to give us lessons for $10. And then the base special services money, you know, your tax dollars covered the rest. So I would play golf Saturday mornings, awful. I would shoot a million like always, terrible. And then in the afternoon, I get my lesson with Dave around 2 o'clock, and I go like this. Dave come out to the range. Steve, first hit a few balls first, so that I can see how you've been doing since last week. And I've noticed you've been up here at the range every day this week practicing, so you should be getting better. Okay, go ahead. That one went over to the right. Try to straighten it out. Go ahead, hit another one. Okay, try to put one in between those. Just hit it in between them. Try to get it in between them. Go ahead, hit another one. Skyball. You know what's coming next time? The worm burner. And then after 5 minutes of this, Dave comes up with, I see something wrong. You're kidding, I'm dying over here. Would you hurry up and let me know what's wrong so I can try to fix it? He said, well, Steve, I notice in your backswing, and then even more in the downswing, your head is coming up. Oh, my head is coming up. That's it. My head is coming up again. Because it's always my head is coming up and then everything happens, right? My head is coming up. That's always my head is coming up. And I know this, my head is coming up. It's because my head is coming up. My head is coming up. What do I do? He said, keep your head still. I'm trying. He said, try harder. And while I'm swinging, he didn't know my problems. He never had them himself. How's he supposed to know my problems? I've never had a golfer in this class ever ask me. I get asked this question all the time. Steve, why don't the golf pros teach golf like you're doing? Well, one, they don't have time because they have a golf course to run. You with me? They gotta make sure the carts are working and all the other stuff. But nobody has ever asked me, how come I'm not teaching golf the way they're doing it? Nobody has ever asked me. And it never will happen. Here we go now. You ready, Deborah? Deborah, you here with Nick?
Yes.
No, I don't know this woman.
You know. He knows the drill. Does he help you?
Only when I ask.
Uh-oh.
Well,
You
not
have
dear.
I usually ask him to line me up.
Heading to the top of the backswing. Arms went first, here comes the crash right there. The wrist will break back on the right leg. Now the arms will pull it. Is anybody fairly surprised? A little surprised you're all about the same?
No.
Is anybody fairly new to the game of golf? Is anybody new to the game? No? Okay, here we go.
I feel like I'm new now.
Yep, everybody, we start over. It's okay to do that. Heading up to the top, here she goes. Top of the backswing. Arms are coming fast. Tell me when feet, knees, hips look like picture, Deborah. About right there. That would be good if you're just getting into the focus.
Yeah.
You ready? Did they give you the picture, Sue?
I got it right here.
Sue, you're here with Dan?
Kurt,
Oh, Kurt, that's right.
yes, and the gas.
I didn't even ask
She
you.
got it immediately,
She figured that out.
man. Drop the dime.
Here we go. And, as soon as she took the club back, her right knee popped right out. Went straight lateral. As soon as she took the club back. That's gonna hurt her for the downswing. Arms are fast, lower body's taking it easy. Crash right there. The wrist break, arms pull hips through. Now the hips are turning. There they go. Top of the backswing. You see her stand up in the backswing? She comes right out. See, when she stays in the posture, she might not get her hands that high. It's not important to get your hands high. It's important to stay in the posture.
I think everybody else in the world tells you, the higher, the more power.
Forget it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. I think that's why we're all the
You can
same.
hit a ball a mile with a half a swing. Like the crippled guy I played with. I couldn't break 100 and he beat me by 35 strokes.
Yeah.
Now the hips will turn. There they go. Can you pass that picture to Tom? Here we go. Head
I
up
don't
to
think
the
you
top.
need to.
Arms are coming fast.
He's
We'll
gonna
hold it
kill
right
it.
here.
He's gonna kill it.
Notice too, this is very subtle, this is subtle, just notice in his downswing, you're gonna see his upper body, I haven't pointed this out yet, I'm gonna do it now.
Thanks.
Notice his upper body move lateral. Your upper body's gonna start moving towards the target. You see his upper body moving lateral? It's
Yeah.
very subtle. The
Wow.
upper body has to stay back behind. Okay? Now your wrist just broke, you see the wrist break, and now the arms will pull the hips through. I tell you, when I was 10 years old, my mother's a wise woman, I was 10 years old, she's from South Boston. She sat me down, and she looked at me, she said, "I'm gonna tell you something, mister." Uh-oh.
Got a lot of that.
That's right. I never forgot it. Because I could have gone down the wrong tracks. She said, "You're gonna now be careful who you hang around with. Because if you hang around with the wrong people, you're gonna be just like them."
Don't hang with me.
You can't be watching.
You come to the golf course, run.
I can't tell you the number of golfers came in here, used to play scratch or low handicap, 1-2 handicap, and now they're 15, 18, 20 handicap. They started playing with bad golfers and started copying it. Yeah, they started mimicking and they didn't even know it, it's subconscious.
Yeah.
Now the arms are gonna pull his hips through, now the hips are gonna really turn. There they go, right there's good if we're about to hit.
Yeah. Wow.
Little piece by piece by piece improvements, piece by piece by piece.
Who's next?
Somebody's glasses just fell. Here we go, heading up to the top of the backswing. Here we go. Is this Dan? Yeah. You had a little pressure on your right leg, a little more than most of us. Lower body's going a little. You know what he did that's good? His upper body stayed back. You see his upper body stayed back? I mean, he's not a leg player fully in the posture, but there's one thing that he did that's okay. Okay? But his wrist break early, now the arms are gonna pull the hips. There they go. His upper body's way too fast and the lower body's way too slow. Who remembers, what's more important, speeding up the lower body or slowing down the upper body? Which one's more important?
Both of them same.
Both are important, one is more important.
Slowing down.
Slowing down the upper body.
And,
Slowing down the upper body is of higher priority, especially as we get older, because the lower body slows down. And we have to slow the upper more when we get older, okay? Now, tell me when the feet, knees, and the hips look like the picture. Right there's good if you're about to hit it. And that's all the same. That's all the same. I told you, you get depressed. Can you pass that picture over to Joe? Here we go. Heading up to the top, George. Your right leg just broke down on the back, went lateral. Arms are fast. Here comes the crash, right there. His wrists are snapping. Arms will pull his hips through. Now the hips turn. Yeah, we copied it.
we all had the same swing.
You bet.
Yeah.
They're in different bodies. It looks different when you see it with the naked eye at full speed. Just like the good players look different with the naked eye at full speed. They're not different, we're not.
We're exactly.
It's all the same stuff, yeah,
The root wicked.
yeah. It starts popping up, there it goes. Now, tell me when the feet, knees, hips look like the picture there, George. Right about now.
Wow.
Has anybody been on my website already? Has anybody been, okay, when we finish today, for those that want to continue, we're gonna be doing lessons online. Have you noticed education going online?
Yeah.
It's a better mousetrap. I'll make you a promise, if you ever, my students that are online with me, all my students that are online, they don't have to do it, but they can. They can send me videos of themselves if they want me to look at it. Just like, right, like a teacher grading your quiz and making sure you're doing it right. If you ever send me a video, you're gonna know. If there's something wrong, you're gonna know. And I'm never gonna be concerned with hurting your feelings either. Yeah, there's something going on in schools right now. Oh, it's nuts. I'll tell you. Here we go, top of the backswing. Here he goes, Buck. Arms are definitely going fast. Lower body's going a little. Crash, wrist break, and then the arms are gonna pull the hips through. Now the hips turn. You know, in a lot of schools, I just learned just a couple weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago now, when I was in Arizona, in Winnipeg, Canada, a school teacher was dismissed. They fired a school teacher because the key teacher is a good teacher, gave the kid an F.
Don't want to hurt his feelings.
The kid deserved the F, got the F, and then the teacher got canned.
That's
Can
the
you
problem
imagine
with
that?
schools today. Yeah.
Everybody's winner.
Yeah, there's no, there's places you can't use a red pen grading a quiz because a red X will destroy a child's self-esteem. When I was a kid, I didn't know there was any other color. Because you know what the red meant? Red meant, you better pay attention to this and fix it, buddy. So that's why red is good. And 4 + 4 is 8, not 9. Here we go, top of the backswing. Here he goes. Arms coming fast, head is lifting gently. Tell me when the feet, knees, hips look like they're picked right about there.
Lucky you and I shouldn't golf together.
No, you're right.
We all look the same.
Yeah.
You ready, Bill?
Yeah.
How about Bill's feet?
Too narrow.
Very narrow.
Never changes.
Here we go, top of the backswing, Bill. Are those bifocal glasses? Are they, or progressive?
Progressive.
Same thing. His shoulder, see how his shoulder didn't get under his chin? His shoulder, that's what happens with the bifocals. It makes people drop their head a little too much, and then the shoulder yanks the head all over the place. Crash right in there. He held the angle a little bit longer, but his wrist broke early, and now the arms are gonna really pull his hips through. Now the hips are gonna turn. There they go. There's another one too, in the summertime especially. I get a lot of coaches in here, they're coaching kids in little leagues and stuff, you know? And they come in here to see if they can learn something about coaching, and if they're paying attention, they will. But I always ask the coaches now, hey, how come you're giving kids the trophies for losing?
Yeah.
Does it help the kid who lost? My son's a swimmer, he's not the best kid on the team, but he's an okay swimmer. He doesn't have to be the best, he's gotta try to be the best, anyway. He called me, 10 years old, he had just swam the 200-meter breaststroke in the county meet, it was a pretty big meet. And he called me up to tell me how he did. I said, how'd you do? He said, Dad, I'm the silver medalist. Silver medal? Wow. Then he started to brag. For 5 minutes, I couldn't take it. I said, Joey, stop a minute. You're done telling me how great you are. Okay, I believe you. Let me ask you, how many kids were in this race of yours? 2. He was withholding information. So 2 kids in the race, you got the silver medal. Let's put 2 and 2 together here. We used to call that last place in case you won. You know, Mr. Silver Medal. I said, if that other kid didn't show up, you'd have got the gold, huh? I said, you're not done. Top of the backswing here. Arms are coming hard. Tell me when the feet, knees, and hips look like the picture, Bill. Right about there is good if you're about to hit it. Yeah, everybody doing about just about. Ready, Scott? Here we
Big
go.
change, big change.
Yep.
A lot of balls going in different directions here.
Top of the backswing. Here he goes. A little pressure in the right leg. We're going to get more. Lower body's going some, a little more than some, but we're going to go a little bit more. Right here, the right side got in the way. His right arm hit his side. The wrist break early. And now the arm's going to really pull his hips through. Got his hips through about a third of the way. We're going to go right in. Okay, here we go. Heading up to the top. Right about there would be good if he's just getting into the ball. You know what else we try to do? I try to get across to practice things more difficult. Like, for example, putting at a dime is really hard. It's hard. Do it. You know? I bet you've noticed, you notice in baseball, Major League Baseball, we have more players now from South America. We used to not have that. You know where our ball players used to come from? Right here.
Yeah.
And you know where they mainly came from? The inner cities. You know, the ethnic neighborhoods? Yeah. They used to play a game called stickball.
Yep.
Stickball was the game that made a baseball player a baseball player, not baseball. Joe DiMaggio, for example, was a big stickball player in San Francisco, and he would hit bottle tops. You know, little bottle tops? He could hit it with a stick. Then they gave him a baseball bat and a ball, and he thought he was hitting a pumpkin. This is easy. You should see what we've been doing. Yeah. Our kids now, you know when they can play? T-ball.
T-ball.
You know what T-ball is? Easy baseball. You know what easy baseball creates? Bad baseball players. Yeah. Then the kid can't hit a pitch because he's been trained to hit later. Ah, it's awful. Okay, here we go. Heading to the top. They don't play T-ball in the Dominican Republic. They don't even have a field. Right there, your right side got in the way right there. Now watch the arms pull the hips through, Don. Don, you were our last hope and you blew it.
Yeah.
You know, that was coming. It's our last swing. Don't mess it up. Okay, here we go. Top of that backswing. Here he goes. He's in the posture a little. Head's starting to lift now, though. You see the head coming out of the posture and the downs. Now the arms pull hips through. There he goes. Right there is good if he's about there. Once in a while, I think everybody's in good shape today, but once in a while, what can get in the way of a golfer's progress, especially for males sometimes, is pride and ego, you know. But I think everybody's in pretty good shape today. Something didn't happen. It happens in here a lot. You know when we're doing, it happened again yesterday, when we're doing the posture. Oftentimes there's a gentleman in class, we're doing the posture, he doesn't like it. I get called off to the side, Steve, I need to have a word with you, please. Yes, can I help you? Yeah, look, I really don't want to change my swing right now, I just want you to work with the one I got. I'm not a magician doing magic tricks, okay? Look, if nothing changes, then nothing changes, that's it, you know? Wait till you see your swing on TV later, and you get your quiz back, it's full of red X's, then you decide you don't wanna correct anything. It's your game, don't come crying at me 5 years from now that, you know, your game hasn't changed, okay? You know the first class you had the other day, the first one? Next week from, well, on Monday, this coming Monday, next Monday, I'm gonna be in Naples. We're gonna have a pretty good sized crowd down there, because I'm just doing one day, not two, so we'll probably have about anywhere from 60 to 800 people show up. And one gentleman is gonna show up. He's gonna get here, the class is at 10 a.m., just like what happened here. He's gonna get here at 10 a.m., the class is at 10, and he's gonna show up at 8. I'm gonna be in the room working, pair of blue jeans, t-shirts, setting up all the chairs and working, lugging tables around. And he's gonna stick his head through the door and yell at me across the room, like it happens every week. Hey, you over there, the guy setting up chairs. Yes, can I help you? Yeah, I'd like you to direct me so that I can speak to someone that might know about this golf deal they're having. Well, I'm familiar with the golf deal. Wait a minute, are you coming? Ooh. I'm ready for him, happens every week. I don't know if I'm coming to this, I read this in the newspaper. I might come maybe, but I doubt it. I have a lot of questions that will need to be handled first. A lot of questions, fella, this thing is $14 today, can we take it? I got a lot of work to do, there'll be people here showing up in an hour. I wanna know if this is for beginners. If this thing is for beginners, I'm not coming. I don't know if it's for beginners or not. How long have you been playing golf? I've been playing this game now for 30 years, okay? I've been to 3 of the finest golf schools in America. They were not $14. I belong to Palmetto Country Club, and I have new Callaways. You wanna see them? What kind of scores are you shooting after 30 years, 3 golf schools, the nice country club, and the Callaways? My scores? This is a Monday, he played Sunday. My scores vary.
So do I.
Usually I shoot, you know, mid to upper 80s usually. Do you know what that means?
He's lying.
He's lying.
Yeah.
He broke 90 once in 2 years, that's the one round he's remembering. And do you know what he is forgetting about the one day he broke 90? He cheated. Mulligan didn't put him in the hole, asked his friend with the scorecard, put me down for a 6. Put me down for her? How many times did he hit it at? Do any of the ladies play in a women's group? The women don't cheat. Well, if they try, wait a minute, if a woman in a woman's group tries to cheat, there's one field general in every group. She knows everything that's going on. The male golfer, if I'm playing golf with Jerry, guys, you wanna have a bad day? Play with the women, your score's going up. If I'm playing with Jerry, Jerry has a 3-foot putt, it's very likely I'll tell him, you can pick it up. Do you know why I give Jerry a 3-foot putt?
Because it's-
The women are unkind. The ball's on the lip.
You need to put it.
Putt it. Mark it and wait your turn. Or it'll be 2-stroke penalty for hitting out of order. Oh yeah, they're brutal. All right. I'm gonna pull the and then we're gonna be looking at some golf swings on TV here in a little while, but I'm gonna go through the lesson plan boards first. For those that continue after today, the first lesson is the posture. Based on our golf game now, if we master the fundamentals of the posture, do we improve a little?
Yes.
1 week of the posture, 7 days, it's getting comfortable. We're gonna add another fundamental, the right leg and the backswing, but just one. What are we still doing in week 2?
Practice the posture.
The posture's still reviewed in this lesson plan. Not as detailed, but we're still going, okay, then we're gonna add left leg in the backswing. If you're a lefty, it's the opposite side. Then we're gonna do grip pressure, hips at the top of the backswing, and then our grip pressure at the top of the backswing, so you use a club in week 5. The leg drills in the backswing, highest priorities of all physical movements. Notice the picture on the left. You're gonna notice the pressure is on the inside of the right leg, you see it? The pressure's on the inside of the right leg. And then you go to the picture on the right, and what do you notice happening with the lower body? What's it doing? It's leading. It's going first. If the student doesn't learn this on the left first, will the picture on the right ever appear?
No.
Now, with each one of these individual lessons, there are 2 instructional videos that come with each one lesson. The first is the introduction into the lesson. That's where I'm gonna do the teaching. You're not doing anything yet. So I'm gonna show you what it is we're gonna learn. Then in the second video, then you and I will practice together for approximately 1.5 minutes. Everything has a purpose. After 1.5 minutes of you and I practicing together, I'm gonna then tell you, unless you have to play it again, right? I'm gonna tell you, get to your mirror quick, because who has to inevitably take over? And that's when the learning begins. So first I'm doing it, showing you. Then you and I together, then you alone. Everybody follow how that goes? When we start the leg movements in the backswing, you're gonna start with the right leg first. If you're a lefty, it's the other side. We're in the posture for a full week now. It's getting quite comfortable. The next lesson, we're gonna hold the right knee in place and turn the right hip around behind us to create the pressure on the inside of the right leg. You see it? And then the following week, we're gonna add the left hip, left knee, left foot. So that in a few weeks, our lower body in the backswing is gonna look about like so. Now, as we're going through the lessons, you don't have to do this part, but it's available. Anytime you would like me to look at you, and if you wanna send me a video, I do not need to see 20 swings. If you send me a video, I only need to see 2 swings, like we did today. Okay? So if, let's say, Don here was a camera, you'd do 1 swing this way, so you don't want the camera coming in from angles, okay, straight on, and then down the line, okay? Also, I'll make you aware of what you need to watch out for. There's errors that can be made, especially if you try to do the movements at full speed or fast, okay? For example, I'll tell you, now watch out for this, because it's likely you'll do it if you try to do it too fast. Is the left hip in the backswing, if you try to do this movement fast, the left hip will come out. So we're gonna slow down, and the left hip is gonna twist towards the right leg. You with me? So this is good, and that isn't. Now, in week 6, we start the downswing. So for everybody in class today, if you never took a break, we're not gonna start the downswing until the end of April. Is that about right? Near the end of April. You should see your faces now. I'm starting the downswing at the end of April. I'm playing golf on Friday at 10 o'clock. Nobody's asked me. Anybody wondering, can I play golf as I'm going through this? Does anybody play all you want? The habits are formed, so that damage is done anyway, right? So go play. Let's just change as we go. So we're on a golf course now for 4 hours. Most of the time on a golf course is spent waiting, isn't it? What should we do for ourselves when we're waiting for our turn? Yeah, let's pretend it's the end of April, we're here in the lessons. What can we practice? Any fundamental wear?
Above
From here up. I'm gonna cover something now which only pertains to the men, because instinctively, the women follow the rules. Do you know what a male golfer can do to this? I know what I'd do to this. I'd be trying to figure out, how can I get down here in a week?
Nah.
Oh, yeah. These next 3 lesson plans you're gonna notice are duplicated, these 3. You see them? That means we're gonna do them twice as long before we move into other things, okay? These are tricky. We're gonna get the lower body leading the downswing, and then we're gonna make sure the upper body stays behind the ball, kind of like this here. So that the upper body doesn't go with the lower body. And then we're gonna make sure we stay in the posture, especially our hips. Remember people's heads were coming up? In 11 weeks, here's what we've learned. 8 items, that's it, but thoroughly. When we overlearn, we do it once, and then review for a lifetime becomes fairly easy once something is learned. It's like, you know what it's like riding a bicycle? If you have not ridden a bicycle for a long time, do you know you still know how? You know why? That's an overlearned skill. Just about a month ago in Tucson, Arizona, a woman in class, she had not ridden a bicycle 40 years. she rode a bicycle.